Hey, it's Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Thursday. It's September 13th. This is going to be a chart lesson for the day, and no chart lessons tomorrow. No chart lessons on Fridays. For those of you that are new, we just do them Monday through Thursday. Also, there will be no mid-morning chart tomorrow, most likely. I have a personal commitment that I have to be at, and I'm probably only going to be in the office from about 7 to 8. So, and I probably won't have time to do the mid-morning chart. So, if there's not one, you'll know why, because I just didn't have time to do it before I got out of here. But pretty good day today. We had a real strong uptrend back up to the 2900 level. And notice how we just chopped around 2900 the rest of the day. We actually closed above 2900 today. I don't think we've done that in a while. So we're working back up to test that 2900 area again. Most of the day was sideways. We had this real strong trend coming up. We had a break, a move to a new high, and then we kind of sold off a little bit, but then ended up just going sideways. And there's there's a little level here, a level here, a level down here. Then we move back up into this level, and it just kind of chopped around. So it just kind of what it is, it'd go sideways and then move down, or it'd move up and then go sideways again. And those days are not always real easy to trade. Although today wasn't very hard. This was pretty obvious, pretty consistent, and then it was pretty obvious off these lows. This when it got up here, there wasn't much left. I mean, you didn't really get any good opportunities really. There's a couple here possibilities. We'll talk about them when we get to them. I'm going to move back out, talk about the trades, and then we'll move on. Also, I've had quite a few emails about when we roll over. Generally, I won't roll over on rollover day. I believe today is official rollover day. Is it today or tomorrow? I think it's today. But anyway, I generally will not roll over until the volume rolls over. And what I'll do is I'll open both charts on rollover day, and I'll just watch the other one. Usually it's the next day or the following day. Usually it's the next day or two of the trading days that most of the volume will roll over. So just open them both on rollover day, and generally count on trading the current contract on rollover day, and then just start looking at it the next day and figure out where your volume's at. Just trade the one that has the volume. But it's usually not on rollover day. It's usually the day following, and sometimes every once in a while it's 2 days later. So just for those new people that wonder, when you should be switching over, just because they tell you to switch today doesn't mean you necessarily want to switch today. Um, anyway, let's talk about the trades. Again, we were working up in this trend, this tight channel right here. Nice strong trend. Notice that you had a new swing low here. It's lower than that when you're moving up. You get a first entry, second entry. So there's a failed second entry short. It actually went lower and turned and went out the upper side. Just go long right there. Then it comes back over. Notice we made a double bottom. So it's first entry, second entry. So there's a failed second entry right off the key entry point, the trend line. This confirms the trend line. Go long right there. Same thing again, another repeat pattern. Double bottom, so new low, first entry, second entry, and when it broke higher right here. Failed second entry long actually occurred right here, and I don't know if I'd have went long with it turning up there. I probably would have waited till I got a signal bar, and when you got this one, I definitely would go long there. And if you did go long above that one, it's probably okay. It's a second entry long too, so just depends on how you were feeling, but I'd probably wait on this bar and make sure I had a good signal bar. And just like yesterday, we talked about it a couple of times. When you start to see lots of little bars just keep going higher with stems all over the place and some dojis, that's generally a strong trend. And notice we got outside here, we moved to a new high, and we kind of went sideways then. And notice again we're going sideways, and you get a little double test right here. Basically, you're just in a range, and you get a little break lower and a nice little bullish bar. As long as you got room to get out, take that trade. You get a higher low here, but not a very good signal bar right into the high. And so now maybe if you get a chance to go short, you might have taken that short right there. I think at this point, with it still making higher highs here and lows, I'd look for uh, a lower high, and you don't really get one. You might consider that a lower high, but the bar is so big, you're going short right back into the lows again, and it just keeps going. And there's actually a little second entry long there, but this is really your signal bar. You're a little bit away from the EMA. And actually, let me back up. I said a second entry long there. It didn't really break higher here, but it's like a little failed break lower, and there's probably a hidden second entry in there. So it's not an official second entry, but I wouldn't probably take it regardless. So, um, but it does push up here. It tries to go higher the first time, and then you get another little push up, and so I'd go short right there. It's like a little double test. And of this area right here, it's also that's also your official first entry and then your second entry, so you could treat that like a failed second entry long. Bounces again. It's tempting to go long right here, and this is a double test of that, but it's kind of stacked up right there. I wasn't real crazy about it. We're definitely in a downtrend. You didn't necessarily have a break and a new low, but there is a little trap there. If you took that one, you might take that one. I didn't mark it, but you might take it. I was still, you're still kind of in a downward trend here, so you got to be careful taking longs, especially if you don't have enough room before the EMA. This one pushed on through, and it did work, but you don't know that ahead of time, and there was a possibility there was a trend line right down through here, so which you probably wouldn't have had that trend line necessarily before this formed, although I did draw it off these lows and pulled it up, and so I was aware that there might be one there when it closed below that. So I didn't like that trade, and that's the reason I didn't mark it, but it's a possibility. It's a little risky, but I like going short there. Um, there's a new you got your trend line there, and I just showed you I pulled it off this side and then found it off the side and then pulled it up, and so that confirms the trend line. And this does look a little rangy, but I'm looking at this trend, and as long as you got room to get out, you may take that. So you may let that one break lower and then drop a limit order a little bit back and see if you could get filled. I still liked it because you made a high and there's a double test and all, and we are in a downtrend. And we did but we do have this support right across here, so you got to be a little bit careful about that. So if you don't have enough room, you might reevaluate that one, or else you enter the way I described, letting it break a little higher or letting it break lower and drop a limit order and see if it'll back up, which it would have. And then you break lower here, but because of this downtrend, I'm not going to go long right there. It still worked, but notice how you're making lower closes. And even though you're not making lower lows, the closes are lower, and so there's basically lower highs every time. And generally, you're going to push on through. Even if you're not going to continue lower, you're going to push on through. And so I was a little leery going short right there. There's a higher low right here, but that's the first move outside that trend line. And if you'd have gone along there, you'd have got burned as well. But notice what happens. There's a new low, there's a first entry, and now you got a second entry, a fairly bearish bar. It's not a real good bar. It is back into this support area, but we just pushed through. So on the second entry with a bearish bar, a good signal bar, it's probably going to push on down. And it is the first break of the trend line right there. This is a little spiking channel. So we're probably going to try to push for a new low. So you may take that one. It's a little bit aggressive because of the support there and because the signal bar is not perfect. And of course, we run down here and we bounce. And again, this is tempting to go long, but when you made all those matching highs there, I'm not going to risk that. We pull back, we turn down off the trend line on the second entry short. So once again, notice that new low, first entry, second entry, big bearish bar. I'm going to go short there. And then we just kind of start going sideways again until we bounce out of there and we turn back down. No decent signal bar here. You do get a good one down here, and notice you got that low. You got one test, two tests, so there's your double test. a nice bullish bar to go long on. And there's really two legs down. There's a little hidden second entry long right there when it breaks higher. So I like going long right there. And that does catch a nice low for the day. And that's a nice move back up. You don't really get another opportunity to enter here. There's no reversal pattern or anything. Runs up here, first entry, second entry, it fails in a bearish bar again, and we just came off the highs of where we've turned down multiple times and then made a failed second entry long, a lower high, a bearish signal bar. You probably want to take that one. There is a lower high here, but it's right back into the support resistance break right there. And this is kind of going sideways here, so I'm not going to take that one. Notice you do get another double test here. So in a nice bar, but you're going right back into that support resistance, and you don't know if it can get back through there because it just failed multiple times. So I'm probably not going to take that trade, although I did mark it because it is a double test. But there's a possibility of a trend line working down through here too. You can see that, and that is your first break, and it did make a new low. So that's another reason to be a little bit concerned about that one. But that double test with a nice signal bar when you're looking for a possible bounce back up is the reason I marked it. And I didn't really see anything else. It would have been nice to go short here, but you got two dojis really right into the EMA. I'm not going to take those. You can see it tried to bounce, but it didn't. It ended up pushing on down. And then it bounced again, but again, no decent signal bar. It's just kind of a doji to a neutral bar. Runs up. You do get a higher low right here, but there's a lot of resistance across there. And I'm not sure if that one would have worked or not. I don't think it would have. It would have failed before. It would have turned down right off that previous high, and it would have failed, and you'd have got burned. And I got you into the 2 o'clock hour. So that late in the day, I'm not going to risk that one. But overall, it was a pretty good day. I don't know what's going on. I'm having problems with my throat again. The weather's been a little wacky here, and it seems like when we change temperatures, I have problems with my throat. But anyway, that's what I saw today. Remember, most likely no mid-morning chart tomorrow, and definitely no chart listen tomorrow. But we'll be back again to do it Monday. If you're out there in the Carolinas on the East Coast, hunker down. Stay safe, and hope for best for you guys out there. I hate for it to be hitting anywhere, but I'm glad it's not hitting the Gulf Coast near where we are, because we've just been hammered with those things in the last few years. So I hate it. I hate for y'all to have to go through it, but I'm glad it's not us. So good luck with that. Stay safe, and I'll see y'all Monday. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.